All right, hello. So today we are going to be working on page 121 and 122. So this is Talk the Talk, and it is for the minding your P's and Q's. What it's asking us is, you have seen how to represent proportional relationships in scenarios on graphs and tables and with equations. So they want us to write an equation and sketch a graph to represent each relationship. Label your axis and identify the constant of proportionality on the graph. So suppose that the quantity C is proportional to the quantity of D. So what that means is C changes whenever D changes. So the equation would be C times K, because the constant proportionality, C equals K times D. C is changing every time D changes. So depending on what D is, C will change. So that is the equation it is asking. So then it wants us to write a graph. So if the original thing is y equals k times x, and this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, well, which one is the y? Well, C is the y. So C would go right there, and D would go down there, okay? Because D is in the spot where the x is, so that's on the x-axis. And C is in the spot where the y is, so that's on the y-axis. And then a proportional graph is a straight line through the origin. And then they want to know what the constant proportionality is. So here's the dot. We have K equals, and we have y over x. So in this case, it'd be C over D. So I want you to try the next one on your own, so I want you to pause it, try the next one on your own, and whenever you're ready, hit play, and then we'll walk through it together. All right, so now let's do letter B. So we have, suppose the quantity of D proportional to the quantity of C. So D changes based off of C. So now we have D equals K times C. So if we are going to make a graph out of it, here's the x-axis, here's the y. Well, in this situation, D is in the y spot. So D would be right here, and C is in the x spot, so C would be right there. And then if we draw a proportional line, it goes through the origin and then straight. And then the K would equal y, which in this case is D, divided by x, which in this case is C. All right, so that is what this page is asking us to do. All right. So the next page will take a little bit longer. I want you to come up with your own scenario, write your own equation, and make your table and graph. I will give you an example of mine. So Christy works at a grocery store and notices that the cost of the bananas is 57 cents per pound. So she notices that the bananas are 57, so you're going to write all this out. My handwriting is not the best. So 57 cents per pound. You are going to be writing it all out, but I am just going to give you a quick sketch of what it should look like. Okay? And so the constant of proportionality is the cost per pound of bananas, which is 57 cents. And the cost of the number of pounds of bananas is in a multiplicative relationship, so that's how I know it is proportional. Okay, so then the equation you're going to use, you're going to first give them letters. So B equals bananas. So pounds of bananas. Now I'm going to let C equal the total cost. All right, so if I set up an equation, the total cost will depend on how many bananas I buy. So that would times by the number of bananas. And K is my 57 cents. Right? Okay, so if I set up a table, I'll have a table here. Make sure you label it. So bananas, total cost. So if I buy one banana, it's 57 cents. If I buy 3 bananas, it is $1.71. If I buy 5 bananas, it is $2.85. And if I buy 10 bananas, it is $5.70. And the constant proportionality, so whenever you take the constant proportionality, which is the 57 cents, and you multiply it by the bananas, you should get the total cost every time. So then the graph, then we're going to graph it. So we have 0, 5, and 10, 5, and 10. So whenever we graph this, we have bananas on the bottom, and then cost on this side. Because the x is the independent, so we can change how many bananas, and the cost will change with it. So the unit rate would be for one banana, it'd be 57 cents. So then we kind of make the chart, and it'll slowly go up. So that will go right through the origin. All right. So that is my scenario. So I want you to make up your own scenario. So come up with a scenario, and then give them each a label, make an equation, write your table, and write your graph. All right, if you have questions, let me know. All right, and then your homework is on page 125 and 126, numbers 1 through 6. All right, enjoy.